much as I like to be a glowy fairy like Tinkerbell like everybody else, there's only so much I can do. So I'm wondering if this one in my fall declutter that I keep telling you, I'm kind of like stockpiling some stuff on the side. This is, it might be making it in there. Stay tuned. Or some fails that, again, I may declutter something soon. All right, witches, we're gonna creep it real, and we're gonna jump into my shop, my stash, possible declutters. Teddy bear is looking real patchy. I have some of its undead on my face. The fallout. My collection right now is pretty serious. I'm gonna have to do another declutter soon, and this isn't even everything. There's a few extra pieces in there I can't reach for. Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a cleansing declutter. I told you guys in my last video that I didn't have a ton of fails to talk about in my faves and fails because it's all right here. The fails are really over here, and some of them aren't fails. Some of them are good. Some of them are just products I don't use anymore. I let you guys know kind of in the beginning of the season, I was going to be doing a fall declutter, and it has gotten so serious in my beauty space because I have the IKEA desk. If you guys have seen my behind the scenes beauty room tour here in my tiny house, and if you haven't, I'll link it above. I have the IKEA desk where it's like a really long desk and I've got some drawers down here. This is actually the biggest beauty desk I've ever had in a tiny house, which I always thought was really fun to tell people because everybody was like, you're going tiny and you have a YouTube channel and you have a ton of clothes and a ton of makeup. Like, how are you gonna do this? Well, when we built our house, we planned around a lot of these things. So I have the biggest beauty desk I have ever had, even when I had a huge house in the Midwest. I have to tell you, it has gotten so cram-packed in here from all of the Ipsy, Boxycharm, my shopping things that have been going on this year that a couple times my drawers have been almost broken because I was trying to open up one drawer and something underneath it caught so it wouldn't open. And my husband on several occasions very recently had to take apart the drawers to like get out whatever was stuck. And he's like, honey, you have a lot of stuff in these drawers. I was like, I know. And I always try to keep it organized. You guys even know I'm constantly talking about it because it's always top of mind. But because I only have all these drawers to put my makeup in, some things that I don't use, they gotta go. And in some things I'm going to be definitely gifting to friends and people in our lives that I know just like makeup and they're like, oh yeah, I'll use that. Some things I am actually going to be tossing because it's either expired, old, or I keep trying to use it and it's a product you can't really share. So let's get into this big fall declutter. This may be my last declutter of the year. I'm really not sure yet. I'm hoping removing some of these things helps me to be able to close my drawers and keep everything organized. There is eyeshadow palettes in here. There is a ton of highlight. That part stings right now because I sat in here swatching all my highlights one night and my husband was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to decide who to part with. What do I wear? What do I reach for? The reality is I've gotten so many amazing great highlighters that it's time to kind of cut the fat. Get rid of the stuff that you're just holding on to because it's pretty and you like to use it 1 or 2 times a year kind of thing. I'm gonna pass those on. There's definitely some Ipsy products in here. I don't think any Boxycharm products have made it in yet, but we're gonna see. Oh, actually I lied. I think there is some Boxycharm items. I just thought of what they were. Let's just get into it. There's a lot, and this is gonna be a chatty video probably. So get a tea, get some wine, get a blankie because it's cold outside and we wanna be snuggly. Let's get into a fun little declutter, shall we? I might even pull more stuff out as I'm going through this, as I'm looking through it, because I'm like, you know what? There's some things I've been waiting to swatch in daylight, so let's get our hands in it. I have a minimum of 8 highlighters I'm getting rid of. 8 highlighters that I'm getting rid of. I need a moment. Maybe I should get a drink. It's kind of early, but I feel like I might need one. Oh gosh. Had to go through my highlighter collection, mostly because I've shown you guys recently, I pulled out my whole little tub here of highlighters. I have so many. And the reality is this year, I've really gravitated to the best of the best in my collection, and I've kind of stopped using the ones that were like, oh, this is a good dupe for this, or oh, I got this on a sale drugstore deal and it's great, blah, blah, blah. If it wasn't good enough on my skin that I wasn't reaching for it consistently, I've just kind of like been like, you know what, it's time to pass it on. I'm talking about it a lot because I am already freaking out about getting rid of some of these because they're so good that I gotta do it. Okay, focus, focus, focus. The first one I'm gonna talk about are some Wet n Wild highlighters, and no, I'm not decluttering these Wet n Wild highlighters because they're there's been such a deal with Wet n Wild this year about their cruelty-free status. It's not about that at all, because I told you if I already bought it, I'm going to do my best to use what I'm enjoying and loving. And Marie Kondo style, if it's not bringing me joy, if I'm not using it, if I physically touch it and it doesn't spark joy, I got to get rid of it. Okay. Botanic Dreams. I really liked this one a lot, and I wore it a lot when I got it. So it's kind of served its purpose. I probably shouldn't start swatching things right now because I'm going to go back on what I said, but it's really pretty, and these are super creamy, super buttery. It's got this beautiful flux of purple in it, but I have so many good highlighters that I was swatching next to all of these, and I was like, you know what? I have something like that I reach for more. So this one, I'm gonna go ahead. It's beautiful. It's still, you can see the press on it, so I'm gonna pass this on to a girlfriend. The same with the shade Blossom Glow. As you can tell, I got this sucker on clearance at Target for a deal, and I was really excited about it. I was like, oh, $3.40 for one of my favorite brands? Awesome. I don't know if you're going to be able to see all of these. Oh yeah, I could see that. So pretty. Oh man, I'm already mad at myself for swatching that. So pretty. But I sat here one night and literally swatched my whole arm full of my highlights, and anything that was kind of like a dupe or similar to, where I knew I wasn't reaching for, it was time to go. And as pretty as this one is, it's kind of too light for my face. I notice when I wear it on my face, it just doesn't like blend well. So I'm always not reaching for it because I always feel like it's a little off for my skin tone. So I'm going to pass this one on too. Who remembers last winter when the whole like Game of Thrones thing didn't break our hearts yet with that finale, and there was some Wet n Wild highlighters about it. The one I have here is Winter Falls in LA. I have another one of these too that I am keeping because I did want to hang on to one of them, but this is the one I didn't think I'd use a lot. This one has more of a blue highlight to it, and you guys know I actually still have some bluish and purplish highlighters because the Naked Cosmetics palette that I got from Boxycharm last year has been on my radar this year. I was like, am I going to declutter this? And I recently used it in a video, and I told you guys how impressed I was with it. And so I feel like because I like this and it's all in one and they're not huge pans, I feel like I'll get more use out of all of these than comparatively storing a bunch of like purple and pinky and bluish highlighters separately that are taking up more space thick-wise in my drawer compared to one thing that I can just slide underneath. You know what I mean? Logistics for me makes sense, and what I reach for. Next, I have here a single from the Physicians Formula Butter Collection. This I bought last year, and it came with the butter bronzers, the butter highlighters, and honestly, I've not touched this in probably a year. It's in I had to depot everything, and then I put it into a palette to try and use, but I just never did. And this one's kind of more like a topper. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this under the lights and everything, but it's pretty, but it's more of like a topper, and it always had a little extra sparklish tone to me that didn't really go well with my skin, kind of showed some texture. So I never really reached for it. So that one I'm not too sad to kind of get rid of. This one's gonna be easy to get rid of, so I'm just gonna say this is the Grease Ball in a tube. This is the Ciate Dewy Sticks that I was going to just put it in a giveaway from a recent Ipsy box because I was like, I know I won't use it, but I know I have some friends in the audience who would love it. Reality is this sucker came broken, and then when I tried to use it, it was just so greasy. It was greasy on my face. I had to put powder over the top of it, and it still felt tacky all day long. Don't like it. Not sorry. I told you guys the reviews were just as bad for it. It wasn't just me. It was like everybody was like, who made this? Who approved this? So this is gone. Bye. So this one's gonna be easy for me to get rid of too. This one also came broken from Ipsy that I was going to put in a giveaway, but came broken. So I couldn't give you guys broken stuff. That's rude. This is the Très Chic, I'm still not sure if I say that name right, Ultraviolet All Over Starlighter Powder Stick. It's a highlighter powder stick, but it came broken. Kind of pretty. It gives you those unicorn vibes, but again, I don't wear those kind of highlighters on the daily. And I got this milk one from Boxycharm recently, the holographic stick that is essentially a dupe for this that isn't broken. So if I'm going to keep one of these things in my collection, it's going to be this one to try comparatively to this broken one that's making me just angry thinking about it. I have two other things that are highlighters that I'm going to declutter, and I feel like I just need to rip them off like a band-aid because I talked about them a lot and I loved them a lot in 2018, but I have not touched them once in 2019. We're at the end of the year and my collection is just crazy serious. I have two Physicians formulas in here. This one is Rose Gold, and this one is the one I'm not sure if I'm gonna get rid of. This one's in the shade Pearl, and just let me swatch and show you why. This one is Rose Gold. This is Rose Gold here. It is beautiful. It is still like butter on my hand, but it is too dark for me. I mean, the consensus is, if you can see this here, if hopefully the light doesn't diffuse it too much, it is just too dark for my skin. When I did wear it, it kind of looked like my skin was glowing, and it was like a healthy glow kind of look, which was nice. But I have so many products that do that are a better tone for me that I was like, I don't reach for this, and it's because of the color. This one is the shade Pearl. This one is the one that I'm just like back and forth about because that is blinding. It is super creamy, but that one I think is just too light for me, and it shows my texture right here a little bit more than some of my other highlighters. It's like I have two extremes here. One is way too dark, one is kind of just like too light. I've not been reaching for these. I just need to put them over here. Don't put them back in the drawer. Don't put them back in the drawer. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And another product that I don't really consider a highlighter, but I used it for the glow, so I feel like it falls into this category, is something that I tried recently in a Boxycharm video, and I let you know there was something that was really bunching and pulling my makeup and really not making my face pretty, but I kept it in my collection because of the glow side. It is the Bare Minerals Invisible Light Palette. I have kept this in my collection for too long because of this glow side. The matte side never did much for me. I think I've talked about that ad nauseum on my channel over the past like 2.5 years since I got this product. This one never did much. It just makes my makeup move. It doesn't work with my skin. But the glow side was like a filter for my face. It really like highlighted and lifted and like transformed the face. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just depot this. Clearly I've never done that. And I have a lot of other great powders now. When I first received this was like a revolutionary for my makeup collection. But I have stuff like that in my collection now that isn't attached to this, and it's less bulky. So I am definitely going to be done with this now. And I'm pretty sure it's expired. It's only good for 12 months, and I've had this way longer. Contours and bronzers. I love those items, and I let you guys know, I think at the beginning of this year, I was doing one of my first Shop My Stashes, and I was like, I haven't touched this bronzer in forever. And it looked like duty on camera and on my hand, so I was like, oh, we know this is going to be a declutter. But then after I started using the product, I was really surprised. Now this is, keep in mind, when ColourPop first came out with bronzers back, what, 2-3 years ago. This is the ColourPop bronzer, and this is in such an old formula or old packaging at minimum that it just says pressed face powder highlighter bronzer. It's when they were like just introducing it, so they had the same components for everything. I think this one is in like something Daylight or Delight. Afternoon Delight. Afternoon Delight. That's what this one is in. And I have hit pan on it since that video, so that tells you I was retrying it, and it did kind of like this nice contoured look that blended well. But as you can kind of see, it feels weird. It feels like, not creamy, but it was creamy at one point. And then it just doesn't like, I don't know, it just seems muddy. You could see how chalky it is. I don't know if you could see that on camera. See how chalky? It's just becomes so difficult to work with. And then look what's left in the pan. You can see what's left in the pan here. It's not pretty. It tends to bunch. I'm thinking it might be expired, so I've not been reaching for it compared to other things, so I'm just gonna say goodbye. Say goodbye. Goodbye. I heard a lot about this particular concealer, and I got it in an Ipsy Glam Bag, not a Glam Bag Plus, because I think this is a smaller size. But this is the Kokie Professional Be Bright Illuminating Concealer. I was really excited to get this in my bag, and then I have been consistently trying it off and on just to kind of leave it, come back to it, and see if I've changed my mind. This is in the shade SC762 Light. I don't like this at all. I don't know what it is about this particular formula that it swatches away. I thought it was going to I thought it was going to be really great. I thought it was going to be covering and brightening and all of the things. I was kind of thinking it might be a little bit like the ColourPop formula, but just like here on my hand, it shears out so much that you can still see my circles under my eyes. And I just never have a good makeup day when I use specifically this product. So it could be my skin. If you love this product, if Kokie Be Bright Illuminating Concealer is your jam, that's awesome. It may just be because my under eyes, where I consistently like to use concealer, is just not working with this formula. It always shears out too much. I always feel like I need to go put more on. For something brightening and illuminating, again, I was thinking it was like the ColourPop concealer that just brightens and covers. This just doesn't do it for me, so this one's gots to go. I think I got this in a Boxycharm, I think, and I didn't get to review it when I wanted to because of surgery and stuff, but I had told you guys, hey, I'll put this in my rotation if you think I should use it. So many of you in my comments said it's trash, don't use it, you don't like it, that honestly, it's another step, and it's not something I even want to just mess around with in the mornings. This is the Suva Beauty Hydra Liner and Brush. This is the Grease Matte Hydra Liner Cake Liner. The directions say you're supposed to use a wet brush to activate the dry cake liner and then apply the product. A lot of you told me you just weren't vibing with this. You were like, this sucked. I didn't like it, Nichole. Don't waste your time on it. Honestly, you guys see how often I wear liner on my channel. Not that often. I prefer like a bold look. Sometimes I will pull out a nice winged liner to kind of complement either a lash look or an eye look, but it's done much simpler than a two-piece product here. So I'm just going to pass this on. It's not even been taken out of the package. So this is a nice little gift to give someone. Well, if they like that kind of liner, I'll let them decide if they want it. All right, I'm going to get rid of two things here from Boxycharm. So definitely there's something here from Boxycharm. Jante Blue. Wasn't this in my Dump the Chump Awards last year? I'm pretty sure Jante Blue was the one that I was like, hey, Boxycharm, get the Dump the Chump, get him out of my box. I don't like him. This is the lip liner in the shade 950 Rich Red. I don't like the formula for their pencils. This one wasn't too bad, which is why I kept it around for a while, but I don't reach for a lot of red lips to use a liner. I do have some other ones that I could use. I'm just done with it. I have better. I'm also going to be dumping the chump here with my $1 Billion Brows Universal Brow Pencil. First time I got this and I had it on camera, people told me even from my thumbnail, they hadn't even clicked into the video yet. They knew which box I got from Boxycharm because of my brows. This stuff was crazy bossy. It also just didn't blend well. It made everything just complicated, and I haven't reached for it since. Well, I have tried it again, but then after that I haven't reached for it since. Mine is in the shade, it's Universal Brow, done, so it's not going to have a shade. I don't like it. I'm done. So I forgot about this one. This is also a face contour. I have tried this. I got it last year and I was so excited to try it, and I was honestly impressed with it at first. But then something shifted and I just stopped using it, and it's a cream product. Maybe it's because I'm an oily skin girl and reality goes powder works better for my skin most of the time. But this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Palette. This baby I've had for a while, and I believe I tried to retry it because I have a note back here on the back of it saying that the highlight shades, the lighter shades, make me look pasty, but the contour kind of looked natural, ... from a distance. Why did I keep it then? If it said from a distance on my little post-it note here, why did I keep it? I'm crazy. I don't know why. This has got to go. It says also, like, I think this is expired. It's only supposed to be good for 12 months, and since this isn't a powder, this is a cream, and I know I've had it longer than 12 months. Let's just not talk about this anymore and just go on. Just throw it away and talk about something else, because this is embarrassing. Let's talk about the eyeshadow palettes that I'm about to declutter. I have really thought about one hard and long and talked about it several times, gone back and forth in videos about it. And the other one I've not talked about as much, but I recently swatched it and did so on camera and was like going, oh, you might be done in my collection too. And I didn't even think about getting rid of this palette until a recent video. So where do we go first? Let's go with the surprise one. I'm surprised I'm getting rid of this because of a recent video. This is the BH Cosmetics Galaxy Chic palette. My very first videos here on YouTube, I pulled this baby out for some good morning get ready with me's. I did it for some eye looks. It was in some favorite videos. I'm really surprised I'm getting rid of it, but the other night when I was swatching out all of the highlighters that are all over me right now, I also was swatching out this because I was like, wait, when I was doing the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star collab video. I think I pulled this out to compare this Neptune blue to the blue in that palette, which by the way, just for funsies, in case you were curious what's on my eyes today, it is the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star palette. It's the mini palette. That's what's on my eyes today. It's kind of similar to the look I did in that video, but I did more blue over the top of the purple. But either way, that's what made me think of this, because I was like, wait, I used to love this and think this was so pigmented. But like when I went into the Neptune shade, it was so chalky. This one did a little better because I just like swirled it more, but it's still like not as impressive as it once was. I used to use the shade Aphrodite a ton. I loved that shade. It does okay, but I also just kept thinking, I haven't reached for you in a long time. This kind of appeared ashy. It wasn't doing well. I love their baked shadows. I am still keeping their Love Signs collection in my palette drawer, but I just realized I wasn't reaching for this, and I was really underwhelmed when I swatched it on camera, and I was like, oh, that looks really ashy compared to some other things in my collection, because I was comparing and seeing what would be a dupe or what would at least be comparable formula-wise. I was underwhelmed by this formula, and even as I kept going through, some are better than others, so it was a little inconsistent, which made me go, well, then maybe I should hang on to it for the good ones. But we got to Marie Kondo it. It brought us joy at one point. We thank it for what it's done for us in the beginning of our YouTube channel, and then we say goodbye. And then we close the freaking palette drawer, because that's the drawer that keeps getting stuck. So I need to do this anyway so I can close my freaking drawers and not tell my husband, can you take apart my drawer set again at 8:30 at night? Sorry. Husband of the Year award right there. The other product, you guys know I've been going back and forth and back and forth about it, because I know some of you love it, and I don't. I always think if you guys love it, you've taken me in the right direction so many times, but sometimes it's just me and I don't like a product, and that's okay too. I can pass this on though. This is the Violet Voss Pro eyeshadow palette. I got this in a Boxy Luxe that I paid for myself, and I was really excited about this palette when we were getting it last year, but I've given it a full year's run to try to love it. I've tried it recently in a video, and I told you even then it was inconsistent, and that's the same reason I'm decluttering this. The size is really bulky, so if it's going to be this big in my collection, I have to love it. It has to be something that I want to pull out, like the Tati palette, like the Jaclyn Hill palette. Even if you don't like those people, I like the product. You know what I mean? Like, there's bigger palettes in there. I have the BH Love Signs Cosmetics palette that is huge. I still love it. So this one I think I need to pass on, but this one is a very like warmy, neutral palette that I think other people will love. Since I got the Tati palette that has a lot of neutrals in it, that also has those warm like berryish colors in it too, I feel like I'm reaching for that a ton, and I'm just not reaching for this. So it's okay to pass things on. And I am saying all of these things because I am feeling guilty. And you guys know I love my makeup collection. I love my Boxycharm makeup. I love my Drugstore makeup. But it is okay for you, and it is okay for me to cleanse what isn't working for us and give to other people, or sometimes it's expired. It's okay to get rid of it. I'm not saying be wasteful, because we all know I live in a tiny house. Clearly I'm a bit of a minimalist here as it is. I want to use what I have, and I want to love it. But it's absolutely okay to give things to other people that maybe they'll be like, oh, this works great for my skin. Sweet, take it. Declutter videos are always so hard, yet liberating for me. I always feel better. I always feel cleansed when I can actually close the beauty drawers, see everything in there that I love and I use. Because when you do get subscription boxes, like many of us do, sometimes you get things that you want to love, but you just don't. Or sometimes you had something from years ago that you loved, and then times change. It's not necessarily bad. It's just time to move forward. So that is my fun little declutter today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I wasn't too sassy or too whiny or too whatever. I hope you could see everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you happen to be new to my crazy little channel, hi new friends. I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below to see all of the fun, loud, weird, unique videos I do every single week. Bye friends.